Rolling Out family? Welcome to another edition of Rolling Out Music. Today we're joined by a genre-defying artist who continues to stretch the boundaries of sound and storytelling, Bartees Strange. With a voice that cuts through and lyrics that resonate deeply, he's been making waves on and off stage. Fresh off his performance at Kilby Block Party in Utah, we're excited to dive into his journey, his sound, and what drives his artistry. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
Not much. I'm good. How are you?
Bro, right now I'm riding high off of this set you just did, man. How does it feel, right? Fresh off stage at Kilby.
Good. I'm always, after I play, I'm pretty like numb.
Are you zen right now?
It's like, yeah, that was nice. You know, like it's not. I'm like really excited on stage, and I come off stage, I'm just like,
Okay,
nice.
okay. So how's your experience been here in Utah?
Utah's a funny place. I like it. I watch a lot of Sister Wives.
Okay.
So I love Sister Wives and like all the like Mormon culture stuff and like all the like the soda bars and stuff. I'm like fascinated by that. I know that's just like a piece of the Utah thing, but beyond that, like Utah people are just sweet, like really nice, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Yes,
they always are like helpful and have something nice to say. So
I totally agree with that. It's been amazing. I mean, it's more beautiful than I ever could imagine.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous. We drove in from Portland, cut through Idaho and into Utah. And I was like, this is the most beautiful drive I've ever done in my life.
The mountains themselves, like, it's just awe-inspiring.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gorgeous. I mean, I think it's really popular to be like let's live somewhere other than America right now. I'm always looking at other places. But after you do a tour across the country and you just see the country change like that, you're just like, this place it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is some beautiful
America's dope.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I would kind of miss some of this shit.
Yeah.
Healthcare, but damn, it's gorgeous, beautiful shit.
Look, hey, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
So, here to talk about the music. Bro, you have this style that just blends everything together. Rock, soul, country. Where does this come from?
I played a lot of rock and I played a lot of country and I played a lot of soul. I think, it's like I used to play bass for Stefan Marcellus, a great soul singer who was on The Voice, and I played country music for this artist named Lizzie No, wonderful Americana folk singer. I played in a lot of rock bands. I made a lot of beats growing up. I moved around a lot as a kid, Air Force family. I just kind of fell in love with everything, and I didn't really have guitar lessons, so I just kind of taught myself how to play after listening to all this stuff. And over the years, it just kind of became what I did. I was never really a master of any of it. I kind of got it all, so I just kind of plug stuff into each other and see how it lights up.
You mentioned listening to a bunch of stuff. So who are some of your inspirations?
Right now, Sly Stone. Like, I love Sly Stone. I feel like he's like the Wario version of Stevie Wonder, where it's like coming from a very different perspective than Stevie, but could play a lot of stuff. Wasn't a perfectionist, but always got the song across. Even when the recordings were ugly, it was still beautiful. Like an example of this is the song Family Affair. That song is so good. It's crazy sounding. Everything's kind of out of place, but in a way, so are most families. And it was just beautiful how the song comes together. And I just admire the freedom that he had, because not only was he writing really intense, like hard things to play, but he was jumping around with music equipment, like using drum machines, guitars, live drum sets, 7-piece band, white drummer, women playing horns. He was kind of ahead on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I've really looked at him because I feel like my approach to music is very like open-faced sandwich vibe. I'm just like, let's just get it in. It's gonna taste fine. And I feel like he's similar. So yeah, Sly, I love him right now.
I love that you bring him up because I just saw the documentary, and just really looking at the way that he approached his music in terms of kind of being genreless, but still creating this whole other world in what he does, and drawing people in that way. And I see that same similarity in what you do. What do you think it is about your music that attracts people to what you do?
I think my songs sound like a lot of songs they already like. I think when they hear me, they're like, oh my God, that sounds like, they're like, oh, what is that? And that's kind of how I write music. That's how I learned music, was by learning songs. And so when I write songs, it's just composites of everything I've ever heard. So I'll write a thing and I'll be like, man, what's that song? And I'll be like, that's probably a Block Party plus Fleetwood Mac plus like George Clinton thing.
Right.
And I can hear it in my own shit. I'll be like, oh, this section definitely from there, this from there. And just like, you know.
So then what's your creative process like?
I start off on guitar a lot, or just a drum machine, and just I like riffs, so I'll play like a guitar riff or something and just record it, store it away, until I store away a whole bunch of stuff, and then I go back and sort through all the stuff I stored away and see if I can take it a step further. And I just have like a process of doing that on a rolling basis for years until like 15, 20 songs are done.
Okay.
And then I record.
So as we're talking about your process, there's a vulnerability in your music that exists. Why is it important for you to share that part of who you are?
I think because for most of my life, that was the only place I felt like I could be vulnerable was in my music. I felt kind of like a shapeshifter kind of in my life. Because I was an Air Force kid, I moved around a lot. I was also a black kid. I grew up in like a mostly white area. And I just always kind of had to fit wherever I lived. I didn't really get to be myself until really recently. And so music has always been the thing where I could just speak, you know, and release. And so that's like the only place I could be honest with myself.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why it is what it is.
You know, you said until recently you've been able to be yourself or find yourself. What's happened recently that's given you that clarity?
Music. I mean, as music has kind of taken over my life, I kind of had this whole like awakening. It was like every 5 or 6 years I'd like quit my jobs, try to start over. And I was always like through my 20s I had pretty intense jobs. Like I worked for the government. I worked for Obama for a little while as press secretary. I worked for the labor movement, also a public affairs director for SCIE, or 5 to 15 campaign, a firm called Berlin Rosen. I was an external affairs director at a climate change organization for 4 or 5 years. And I was just playing in bands on the side, and I never felt like I could be myself in those places. I was always like the suited, black excellence version of myself, which isn't really me. It was just kind of what I felt like I had to do. And when music kind of started to take over, I was like, I'd rather do this and be broke and die young, if that's the choice. Than be this thing every day. I don't want to do it.
I understand.
Yeah.
So,
and that was 5 years ago. So, I'm 36 now.
So 5 years in, how you feel?
Tired, but I'm glad I'm this tired. And not tired of my life.
Yeah.
It's like I'd rather be exhausted and like on my way somewhere I want to be than sick of everything, making good money.
Talking to you right now, I can see how music feeds you, right? What do you think it is about music that feeds us, that makes us feel specific type of ways, or maybe even helps us through, weird or tough situations?
I think black people in America, you don't realize how much fear plays a role in your everyday. Like every place you go, every person you meet, every email you send, everything. And I feel like in my mind, there's just black people there. And when I make music, it's just me. And that's the most amazing, freeing thing ever for me. That's freedom for me. It's like me and my guitar. I can do anything I want.
Yes.
No one can take anything from me or tell me what to do.
Yes.
It's the only place in the world.
There it is.
And so that's why.
So this is good. Yeah. So 5 years in, you're feeling yourself. You're in tune with who you are. What does the next 5 years look like for you?
I just want to keep going. It'd be cool to be doing this for another 5 years. And then after that, I'll probably say the same thing.
Okay.
Or I'll be like, this was cool, I want to try something else. And that'll be fun too.
Any new projects or anything coming up?
No, I kind of want to go back to college.
But
I don't know, man. I'm like, I mean, I'm always producing and working on records, and also my therapist. My therapist is like, you gotta have some other stuff in your life that you like too, you know? Like, music's always been like the thing I always wanted to do. Now that I do it all the time, I'm like, what do I like other than this? So it's kind of, I'm like a kid in a sandbox a little. Kind of like, what are some of the things that were really interesting to me when I was a kid that I didn't get to really explore? Or like things I can maybe go back to now. So yeah, I'm like interested in like sailing. So I'm gonna take like a boating class. You know, I'm sorry, I'm like kind of rambling.
No, it's fine. And, you know, I'm happy that you brought up your therapist because we're dead smack in the middle of Mental Health Awareness Month. Why was it important for you to get a therapist? Specifically, a black man.
Because I didn't know who I was. Like, I spent my entire life, like, being what other people wanted me to be. And then, like, you get a point where you're just like, well, what do I want? And, like, where am I? I don't even know what I am, you know? It's a really isolating and, like, lonely, weird feeling, you know? And it's confusing, and I needed someone to help me navigate. Like, back to myself. You know? So it was really important.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, I appreciate you for being open. We're here at the Kilby Block Party. Any experiences you want to share from the Kilby Block Party that will stay with you?
No. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I love this place. I'd love to come back.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Bartees, brother, thank you so much for joining us today. Yes. Rolling Out family, if you get an opportunity, make sure you check out Bartees Strange. Where can the people find you?
The internet. Bartees Strange, anywhere.
Okay, awesome. Yo, this is your man Precise right here in Utah, Salt Lake City. And as I always say, stay focused, positive, and productive. Peace.
All right.